Well, good morning, everybody. My name is Steve Hammans, and I'm the Food Service Development Manager for GS1 UK. I'm trying to now work rabbits into my presentation, following the previous ones. Today, I would like to share with you how GS1 standards are helping this £80 billion sector, which is actually forecast to grow to 90 billion by the end of this decade. Now, many of your businesses, I'm sure, are GS1 members, even if you don't know that, and I'm sure many of you have heard of us. However, before I continue, I would like to just pause for a moment and qualify what I mean by GS1 standards, because I don't want to be presumptuous. Moreover, I am often asked, what exactly does GS1 do, and what exactly is GS1? So, what is a GTIN? What is an EAN, a GLN, and seemingly an endless list of other acronyms that we have made? Well, very briefly, GS1 standards are simply unique identifiers providing a common currency between businesses, if you like, as the slide reads, so that everyone and their systems are speaking the same language. Once these have been implemented, these standards can be used to capture and share information that enables our members to serve their customers faster, cheaper, and safer. So we license and manage these standards on behalf of industry. Now, as you can see, we're a global organisation. Here in the UK, we have approximately 29,000 member companies, roughly 6,000 of whom operate in the food service and convenience sectors. Now, this all started back in the 1970s in America, when the very first product was scanned through a point of sale. Has anybody got any idea what that product was? I need a more specific answer. Yes, juicy fruit, Wrigley's gum, correct. Unfortunately, due to budgetary cuts, I haven't got any prizes for the answer to that. But it's interesting that those of us who remember the 1970s, and I do, I coincidentally recall being taken to a supermarket by my parents. Days out in those in the 1970s weren't perhaps as interesting as today, but I do remember going to a new Sainsbury's store to see this wondrous technology. And that's no word of a lie, I do remember it clearly. Had I known then that one day I would be working at the very heart of barcodes, then of course I would have worked harder at school. However, it does play a very important part in our lives. Now, I recognise industry standards aren't necessarily the most interesting subject, and they're arguably quite dull. And in fact, a well-known captain of industry concurred with this, commenting it was quite a boring subject. But the former Tesco CEO didn't get where he was today by not seeing what the benefits of that could be. So he did caveat the statement with the fact that GS1 standards had exciting consequences. Well, before I move on to those, I do want to have a very quick look, as I promised, at the so-called boring detail. And here we have some of the identifiers, such as the basic GTIN, which is also known as the UPC or EAN, which is used for products identification, and the GLN, which stands for the Global Location Number, and that is used to identify locations for EDI systems. And you literally, quite literally, you know where you are with a GLN. We then have our capture standards, the best known of which is, of course, the barcode. And finally, we have GS1 standards for data exchange, such as data pool and EDI messaging. Anyway, that is the boring stuff. Swiftly moving on, These are the exciting consequences which business leaders such as Sir Terry alluded to. Now, these are not our figures. The 10.9 billion, that's saved in the UK retail industry is a PricewaterhouseCoopers figure, and that represents approximately 5.49%. I say approximately, it is 5.49% of sales revenue. There's an estimated £650 million saving through the automisation of order-to-cash processes in the UK grocery sector. And another significant sum, 1.5 billion, is estimated by the NHS Department for Health in procurement savings that will be released following the adoption of GS1 standards. Now, these are very headline, typical grabbing figures, which perhaps don't mean much to the individual business, but the key message to take away from this slide is there are still huge savings to be made, and we can help your businesses to quantify and qualify those at a more bespoke level. Talking of which, I'd like to now just quickly show you how GS1 standards are helping some of our members.
GS1 EPC standard to us is very important because it means that if there is commonality between what every RFID enabled retailer is using, then it will drive down cost and it will drive up standards.
GS1 standards are accepted globally, which meant every pot of Mammy Jamia's moved smoothly through the global supply chain. But what was even more crucial was the confidence our use of GS1 standards gave to our international customers.
We use GS1 standards in every aspect of our supply chain. We use GS1 EDI standards for orders and invoicing. That single format just simplifies everything.
GS1 UK really help us meet our customer requirements for traceability through from production to transport and distribution. Oakland Farm Eggs produces hundreds of millions of eggs every year, and the ability to track every single one of those eggs using GS1 standards gives our customers such massive confidence.
So by having a data standard that everybody has already accepted but just now needs to apply, is that you write once and then you can reuse the technology you've written everywhere and with every retailer worldwide. And that's one of the key pieces of magic that GS1 brings to this.
That's why GS1 in 2014 is as relevant, I would say even more relevant than we were in 1976 when we started up in the UK.
GS1 standards ensure that every person in every location is using the same language to describe our inventory. And knowing where everything is in each area of the hospital has enabled us to reduce stock by 20%. Bringing together a unified system to manage all our suppliers, equipment and medication and the treatments we provide is no mean feat. By providing one single way of identifying everything, GS1 standards are helping us to achieve this.
A lot of people think that what GS1 is doing is around bureaucracy, about moving numbers from one place to the other. What it's really going to end up doing is improving how patients are treated, how patients are cared for, and the ultimate safety of what's delivered to them by the NHS.
I don't think GS1 now is just a good thing to do. I think it's really, really essential for delivering efficiencies. So it's really good to see so many people in this room, and I hope you'll go forth and adopt GS1. Thank you.
Because GS1 standards are accepted globally, we can send our beers to stores and pubs all over the world. We don't have to change the packaging or the cases at any point, and we can track every single bottle, which keeps our international customers very happy indeed. It's the little things about our beer that really set it apart. And that's exactly how it's been with GS1 UK. From the global standards to the extra help and support, it's been so much more than just generating barcodes. The added benefits, the things between the lines, have made all the difference to us.
Okay, so I hope that's helped illustrate how GS1 UK is helping across several sectors, but in particular to help food service and convenience members, where our various GS1 standards can help from farm to fork. We've just published this sector blueprint. It's available now on our website, but its objective is to demonstrate where GS1 standards can help unlock traditional problem areas such as order to cash, master data management, quality assurance and traceability, together with the benefits of it in each stage of the supply chain. Members can then use this as a template to help develop their own standards adoption roadmap, which we will support, of course. Other things we've been helping our members with in food service include last year's top of mind issue, and I'm sure many of you in this room today spent a great deal of number of hours working on this, was of course the new food labelling regulation, otherwise known as FIC or FIR or EU 1169. GS1 supported the food service and convenience sector with over 200 companies attending GS1 training courses in the run-up to last December's deadline. We are continuing to support members with their queries and other regulations that are affecting the industry. Here we have an example of another significant development in food service and convenience, this time data pool adoption. Towards the end of last year, Brakes led the industry by becoming the first major UK distributor to adopt GDSM. Now, the concept of data pools is simple. It's a single product data repository from the brand owner, available to all, conforming to the same product definitions. Well, what it's enabled for Brakes is real-time, accurate master data from suppliers, which underpins their customer goal, as you can read. Other major UK demand hubs are in the pipeline, which is great news if you're a manufacturer, because many of those manufacturers were complaining en masse last year in the run-up to the food labelling legislation about having to provide what was effectively the same information but in different formats to hundreds of different customers. And whilst the initial data collection may be over for that deadline, maintaining the accuracy of master data ongoing can be easily and effectively achieved without risk by using our standards and solutions. That is very much our game and where we're adding value to our members' businesses. Another giant of the sector landscape, Whitbread, have similarly embarked on their GS1 roadmap to implement and use standards. Here, GS1 undertook the adoption onboarding campaign for Whitbread. A team of my fellow colleagues at GS1 were managing their supplier community through a phased program of standards adoption that started with basic training and awareness courses, and then moved on to actual testing and the implementation of standards on the products themselves. But what this is going to enable Whitbread to do is scan on receipt, which, as Brodie McMillan, their logistics director, testifies, is a significant or key milestone towards their goal of visibility through the supply chain. They're very soon to implement EDI and thereafter data pool, which GS1 UK will again be managing on their behalf. There's just a few more testimonies, if you like, from other key players in the UK and food service and convenience sector who we are helping to support their business. So finally, I hope what I've provided you with today is a taste of who GS1 are and what we're about. We're really about benefiting the industry as an impartial neutral, not-for-profit organisation. But our task is to increase the adoption of standards to make trading between you and your customers easier. We're soon to launch a bigger, better, bolder industry leadership group for the sector, and we'll be acting as an impartial facilitator to tackle some of the bigger issues that the industry faces via collaborative solutions. So I'm going to finish therefore with an open invitation to anyone in this room who would like to join that. Please do get involved, and hopefully you too will be enjoying some of the exciting consequences at the end of your GS1 roadmap. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much.